just happy it is time to come home. He's been in action for a while, it was way too long. After we'll debate.
Good morning, it's Wednesday. Woogudani is still in the house. I'm literally on my way to meet him at the hotel. And today he has a couple of private lessons to teach as well. And then back to normality, whatever that means, right? I am going back to teaching today. No more off-topic vlogging until next month, when I'm gonna have another guest coming to the Lisdrum Academy for a joint clinic with myself on the power of the brain and how to unleash your best self when it comes to learning. So that's what I'm going to be talking about with someone that I will announce maybe next week. And we are back at the academy. Woogudani has left and I'm here ready to teach again. So I already have a student in there practicing, and I am now gonna start teaching literally in 15 minutes. So I'm ready. I'm inspired. Let's do this. Morning! It's Thursday, and you know what? I remember when the vlogs looked exactly just like this. This was it. One shot showing that great quote by Mr. Buddy Rich. And now I have all this fancy music and stuff, like... Exactly. Alright, so, back to normal. Today we teach a lot of students. I already have a guy in there practicing, as you can hear. I'm glad to be back to my routine. I love teaching, and as much as I love to host events, this is what gets me going. People improving themselves, and I can help them achieving their maximum selves. So I love that. Alright, it's now 3:20 p.m. My first student is in 40 minutes. I've been practicing. That's the second student of the day who's practicing here today. My students are very, very disciplined. I love it. It sounds good too. So I'm gonna warm up for a bit before I start teaching. But not before. We'll do this week's edition of Book of the Week. Let's do that. Book of the week. Let's talk about a book that is, yeah. So this is the drumming track concept. This is the book that Woogudani was presenting here last week. So what's the concept behind the drumming track concept? So Woogu discusses in this book 5 steps to practice efficiently. So those 5 steps will guide you through understanding an exercise to mastering an exercise. And that's the whole concept. Woogu presents here 3 or 4 exercises that he uses personally just as a template to demonstrate the concept itself of those 5 steps. So those 5 steps would be what? Technique, tempo, dynamics, consistency, and creativity. Woogu in this book explains you exactly what each step is when it comes to practicing them, and also there's maybe something that I should mention is that this book is bilingual. So he wrote the book in Portuguese and then someone translated the book to English. So I'm very proud to also be part of this project. Right there. That's me. See? Those are the sponsors. Boom! Very proud of my good friend Hugo. He is, without a doubt, the most prolific author in Portugal. So, yeah, go get the book. I have the copies here at the Lisbon Academy, so if you guys want to just drop me a message. Go practice. Two lessons down, one to go. I feel tired. I think I'm still recovering from the madness that it was these last 3 days. Going down to London, coming back from London on the same day, events and this and the other. I need a break. I cannot wait for my Christmas break. We have literally 1 month to go. In the meantime, I am preparing my students for the upcoming Christmas concert on December 17th. So that's gonna be fun. A lot of my students already chose their songs, some haven't, but it's gonna be exciting. I have a long list of participants. Did you see that? Did you get that? No, I know. So now my next and last student is in exactly 1 hour. So I'm just gonna read a bit. I don't feel like practicing. I've practiced a lot this morning. I feel actually my body is a bit sore. So let's read. Let's educate the muscle up there. Next student and last student in 10 minutes. Let's do this. And there you go, guys. Finished another day of lessons. Back to normal, so they say. Back to normal, so they say. Let me talk to you on the way home about something that I've been thinking about teaching people and how to motivate people who do not share the same energy you have. Okay, so let me talk to you about my thoughts on how to engage with students who don't share the same kind of energy you have. So first and foremost, I really believe in energies. And one of the reasons it drains me out so much to teach is because I take that very seriously. I make an incredible effort, psychological and emotional effort, to match my students' energy, or when that energy is actually harmful, to change and shift their energy towards something more efficient. Alright, so this sounds a little bit crazy, but probably if you think that it sounds crazy, you don't really care for that kind of stuff, give it a go. It will probably change your life, and I kid you not. If you already believe in energies and the fact that we all have different vibes, some would say, then this makes all sense. Alright, so let's get to the point. When I'm teaching, let's create a scenario here. Let's say I'm teaching a student, and this student is very laid back. So laid back that he might as well be laid down, and you know, that's not efficient. So I have to find ways of not only excite the student, but literally excite the classroom. I need to change everything when it comes to the energy in the room. So, in other words, I'll have to fake it. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm an excitable guy, but it's mostly when certain triggers are pushed. So if I'm dealing with someone who's kind of slow, and I don't mean that in a negative way, but just a slow person, it's difficult for me to motivate myself when that's the case. Motivate myself also in the sense of feeling excited and pumped. I also don't react well to extremely excited people. Like slightly hysterical, it's not really my vibe either. It kind of gives me the So how do we balance things in order to make a classroom the most efficient place to learn? We have to find not common ground, but we do need to find a sweet spot. So for example, going back to the laid back student, what can I do? I need to find what this student's triggers are, and I use them constantly. What I often do as well is I match the language. I match the language of said student. So for example, if a student speaks slower, I will speak slower as well. That makes the student more comfortable, and then I can bring the excitement levels up via stimuli. Instead of forcing a new vibe on the student, because that builds their defensive mechanism up, instead of doing that, I match the pace of their speech, I match the pace of their thought processes, but I change what we are talking about, and I change what we are thinking about even. So that for me is one way to match the language but change the subject of the conversation, and start introducing more and more energy as we develop that conversation. Let's discuss the opposite. Let's say the student has this high energy, this nervous energy. I have some students who are like that. They have like this constant need to move and twitch, and so we need to bring that down. So the way to do that is, again, I match the energy, I match the language, but not the pace of the speech. So I will use the same kind of words they use to make the conversation comfortable, but I will progressively slow down the pace of what I'm saying and the pace of my speech. By doing so, and since we are sharing the same language, the same lingo, the same dialect, he's engaged. And because I'm progressively, not abruptly, but progressively slowing down the pace, he's also slowing down. And you can see this if you get into understanding body language. It's very obvious. You can really tell when the student's leg suddenly stops twitching, when they suddenly just lean in just so much, just to show that I like this topic. They are not so, all over the place with their eyes, and the hair stops moving, and now you brought them in. This is not easy. This requires a lot of patience, and it requires a lot of your own energy. But by doing so, you transform the classroom, and you turn your classroom and your relationship between you and your student into a highly effective one. So that's my take. Very scratchy. I just scratched the surface really. That's my take on how to match energies in order to make your relationship with your students a lot better. Okay, full disclosure. Why am I talking about this? Because this is one of the chapters in my upcoming book, How to Hide the Teaching, and I discuss this more in depth, and I go really deep into the science of the vibe. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching. You're the best. Hey, and subscribe. It's free. Go on.